Going live. What happens when a daughter's strong engineering and product design background combined with her passion for the beauty industry meets her mother's ingenious innovation for keeping her daughter's tears at bay and hair from breaking when taking down their braids? Stay tuned for our Fab Founder Friday guest's sensational startup story. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Fab Founder Friday on the Startup Life Show. I'm your host, Ande, Lyons, startup coach to new first-time founders. And after raising 4 businesses of my own, I now help newly minted founders sleep through the night by giving them peace of mind. That's right. Through a 2-hour funding strategy session or a pitch deck review or one-on-one coaching, there's so many ways. These founders are using my Ande-licious strategies, solutions, insights, and inspiration, and are building profitable and sustainable businesses without wasting time or money. And I am so delighted you all carved out time to tune in and up your founder game and celebrate a fellow founder. I mean, come on, we all love to have wind added to our sails, and we need to be in solidarity with each other as we are going along this founder journey. We're streaming live right now on LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch, thanks to the oh-so-delicious StreamYard platform. And for those of you watching the replay, thank you for tuning into this episode, and be sure to click the subscribe button and the bell icon so you'll be alerted whenever I upload a new video or go live. Those of you tuning in live, please use this opportunity to expand your network. After all, this is an online networking event, so connect with each other. Share your LinkedIn URLs. Follow each other on social media. You never know where your next collaboration is going to come from. And your questions and comments are important, so please pop them into the comment threads during our conversation, and we'll do our best to answer them live. And if you know anyone who would also like to celebrate today's phenomenal female founder, tag them and have them come join us in the conversation. So I am so excited to share today's featured founder with you. I'm going to bring up a little image here just so that I'm not talking head here. And this gives you an idea of what this phenomenal female founder is up to. Saraa Green is the co-founder and CEO of the Braid Releaser, a new tool that keeps your hair from breaking when you take down your braids. And unlike a pointy rat tooth comb, it glides through your braids to create a pain-free, time-efficient braid takedown experience. And Sarah's deep passion for the beauty industry started as a makeup artist at MAC Cosmetics and is backed up by her engineering and development background at companies like Shimazaki and Adidas. Her design and engineering education began at the Fashion Institute of Technology in New York City, where she holds a bachelor's degree in fashion design. And then she went on to earn her MBA from Willamette University. And like that wasn't enough, she's currently a student at North Carolina State University's Doctorate of Design program. And we were talking about someone who really knows her stuff about product design. Let me just get my handy dandy clapper right here, and we'll do a big welcome to the oh so wonderful Saraa Green.
Hello. Thank you.
Oh, I'm so thrilled that you could join me, Saraa. Tell folks first, where are you hailing from? Where are we having this conversation?
Yes, so I am currently in Portland, Oregon.
Yay, and I'm in Boston. And so this is the beauty of online, is that we can have these conversations with each other when we're not anywhere near each other, which is beautiful. And Saraa, you and I met through Founder Gym, right?
Yes, the Money Magnet program.
That's right. I'm going to tell everybody, I'm going to have a link in the show notes. You want to take this program. It's one of the best 6 weeks I spent. And look, I have an MBA. Saraa has an MBA, getting her PhD. Why do you need some more? They know how to teach at Founder Gym, and they know how to take you to a whole new level. Yes. So that whatever limitations you may have around money and perceptions that are not serving you, Founder Gym's Money Magnet program will help you dissolve them and create even more abundance, but also give you the tools and skills you need to make sure that money's flowing into your life properly, especially as a founder. Right, Sarah?
That's right.
Hey, I just did a commercial for Founder Jim, and I'm okay with that.
You sure did. You sure did.
And speaking of Founder Jim, yay!
Paige, we love Paige.
Oh, okay. So nobody does Airtable like Paige. Nobody gets a classroom roused up and ready to learn like the program director at Founder Jim. Oh, it's funny. We were just talking about you, Paige. And there you were. And Nicole. Woo-hoo!
Hey.
We know Nicole also from the Oh So Wonderful. Yeah, community happens when you're also learning, folks. It's wonderful. So thank you for tuning in, everybody. I am excited to hear your story, and because this is so important, Sarah, for all the side hustlers out there. And if any of you have read Adam Grant's book, Originals, he talks about the fact that side hustles have a 32% greater chance of winning and achieving and having a successful outcome than those that just jump, whatever they're doing and go for it. And so you have a great side hustle story because it's my understanding you love what you're doing. So tell folks where you were when the idea popped into your head. You know what? I'm loving what I'm doing. I'm getting my PhD and loving working at Adidas, but this is also calling to me. Please share.
Yeah. So when I was finishing my MBA degree, we had to focus on a passion project or either creating a business strategy around anything that you wanted to improve in your organization. And when I was sitting and I was thinking about it, and I said, okay, what do I want to do? What do I want to work on? And my mother's Braid releaser instantly just came to mind. And it was something that I said, okay, well, this is what I'm going to do. I already know this market, so why not create a business strategy and build a business plan surrounding the Braid releaser? Interestingly enough, I actually had to step back and put my biases aside when doing this project because I was able to unleash a huge amount of information and data in regards into this market, the hair industry, and why there was a need for this product. And it was great because I came from a different perspective, as if I wasn't an African American woman or a Black woman who wore braids. And I started to investigate other consumer bases that would potentially be someone who would order the braid releaser. So it's like God really deposited that idea into my mind instantly. And I didn't have to go back and forth about the idea. That was something that I wanted to do, and I ran with the idea.
I love it. And of course, you have the thing that investors look for, the marketplace looks for, which is this delicious product market fit. First of all, you had to create a passion idea. Again, this is why we always got to be learning, things like that, assignments like that force you to think about something. Well, my mom always used this handy tool. I don't know if everybody else liked it or used it. And then because you have this deep background in design and in product design specifically, and you've got that beautiful engineering brain of yours, you were able to start to formulate and start to see and think about the packaging and how you had to pull it together. So that, of course, leads into my next question. How did you bring Mom along? Because I know this is Mama Angela Green is the co-founder with you. How did you say, hey, Mom, I'm doing this passion project and I'm thinking I might do this? What did she say when you reached out to her and told her?
So when I did the I called my mom, and my mom is Braid. Whoever's on here who knows my mom, they will relate to this story. I called my mom and I said, "Hey, Mom, I'm gonna build a business plan surrounding the Braid release." And she's like, "I knew it. I felt it. I knew it was gonna happen." And that's exactly what my mom does. She's like, I felt it. I knew it. I'm so excited. And then my mom's like, okay, so what's the plan? And she jumps right into, all right, this is what we're going to do. I had an idea. And I was like, okay, slow down, hold on, slow down. But my mom was really excited. And like I said, it wasn't an excitement of, oh, like this is what you want to do. It was more like I knew this is what, I wanted to see happen, and I felt it. And I know my mom is always on board. Having a conversation about things like this is easy with my mom. Sometimes she's like, okay, she calls me every day and she's like, okay, what do you think about this? And I'm like, okay, mommy, hold on, slow down.
Hey,
Let's take it
I'm
slow.
working and getting a PhD here. Take a minute, take a number.
Take a minute. She's like, okay, well, how do we get into Target? And I'm like, mommy, we first have to make sure that we refine our product, get an e-commerce site, raise some money. So slow down. We'll get there. But I love when my mom gets excited about things like this. And my parents overall, my dad is always like, do what you need to do. Wherever we can help, we're here.
That is terrific support, right? Everybody, give me a thumbs up if you've got
Yes,
someone like that in your life.
it's a blessing for sure.
That is tremendous. So, and then I am very fond of your name, because so often people will come up with a really cool, trendy name for their business, but they have to spend so much money on marketing dollars, right? To have everybody understand what. Yours was very clear, the Braid Releaser.
Yes, it's very clear. My mom came up with the name back in 1992, if not earlier. So I wanted to make sure that the name stayed the same, that we keep what my mom created back then, and that's mostly important to me. My whole point of starting this business was not to diminish, excuse me, my mother's idea. It was more so to highlight it and tell her story, and really create a platform for my mom to share her story, but as well as, seeing hundreds and thousands of people with braid releases in their hands. I think that's a vision that my mom always had, and we're making it happen.
I love that, something fierce. And I want to remind folks out there, it is never too late to realize a dream, even if it's through one of your children. So, Angela, I cannot be happier for someone than I am for you right now, because no matter what age, don't get caged by your age, folks.
Right.
You can bring it. I don't care if you're just getting out of high school or you've been in retirement for 10 years.
That's right.
You always have a new dream to dream and something to bring to the world. You are valuable. And I really want to say that, especially to our older generation, because a lot of times people want to put you out to pasture. No way, Jose, that's not happening.
Right. Not happening.
But, you still had never been a founder before, had you? Or
No, so I've never been a founder before. I've always had ideas of owning a business and multiple businesses. I just didn't know when it was going to happen. I didn't know how to start. And it was something that honestly, if someone told me, Saraa, 10 years, 15 years, if I was like, in high school and someone says you're going to own a business, I would have been like, oh, okay, I probably own a fashion business to some capacity, but not really knowing that I would be starting my first business in the hair care industry. And I just really love how where life takes you, right? You have this vision and this idea of where your life is going to be, and God 100% of the time directs you somewhere else. And that's even about when I think about living in Portland, Oregon. If someone said, Saraa, you're going to be moving to Portland, Oregon and buying your first property before 30, I would have been like, no way. That's not going to happen. I'm going to live in New York for the rest of my life. And I'm probably going to be a designer for a company, a Donna Karan or Calvin Klein. That's where I want it to be. That's that was success for me.
I love that vision story.
Yeah,
Again, a moment there. I mean, it gave me goosebumps. And that's because we come up with this really, and this is where you can get caught in your quote limitations sometimes. The old God has a bigger plan for you than you could have ever imagined. I'm doing this. I'm going to work for Donna Curran. I'm going to do blah, blah. And New York City is my home. I'm never leaving.
Mhm.
And then you ended up in Portland, Oregon.
Yeah.
The antithesis of New York City.
It's like the total opposite.
But how were you open to that? Because some people would have said, oh, heck no, not doing that.
I'm fortunate because I have a dream job, and I have a dream business. Like I'm in a great position. And a lot of times the narrative is that, especially women of color, that we build businesses because we don't like our jobs, or we're just checking in, checking out. But there are so many women that are very successful in the corporate world and very successful in business. And, I really find that important to tell that story at the end of the day, because when there are opportunities that present itself to you, no matter the location, you should not restrict yourself from taking that opportunity, especially when it's going to bring value to your career. I wouldn't have gotten my MBA if I didn't get a scholarship from the brand. So there are so many opportunities, and there's so many doors that open for you when you take a risk and you take a leap of faith.
I love that so much. And you're right. For me, and looking at what I've been through in life, everything, all my businesses came as, of course, a stray cat at the door. I had no intention of ever being a business owner. But they started coming up and they said, we need you. So I really relate to that. And also the MBA, that was never on my pathway, and it just made such a difference. Did it make such a difference for you as well, Saraa?
Yes, it made a huge difference because I had to figure, I have a fashion design background. I'm a knit technician. Like, I had no idea to, figure out how do I register my company, creating financials, consumer market, and really researching data about market validation and things like that. I was like, okay, what is all this stuff? And when I got into and of course, you can learn this stuff online. I'm a person that comes from an educational background. My brother's a teacher. My mom's a teacher. My uncle is a superintendent. My aunt's a teacher. So
and you're a fashion and product design engineer. I mean, it's like, what did happen?
Exactly. So when it comes to education, hence why I'm pursuing my doctorate at NC State. But when I thought about pursuing and being a business owner, being an entrepreneur, I said, I need help. I need to figure out, I need to be in a class setting. And being in a class setting it was a great experience because I got to learn from my classmates. A lot of my classmates had their own businesses and were entrepreneurs. So just learning from them, and I mean, it was a hard 2 years for me. That program was difficult, but I got through it. And what I will say, it helped me jumpstart a lot of things, as well as partnering with my business advisor, Ariel Lauren, who's the CEO and founder of 100K Incubator. And she really also kind of lit a fire under me to say, she really kept me on my toes and still keeps me on my toes. This is what you need to get done at this time. This is the information you need. This is how you navigate through things. This is how you communicate. This is how you send emails to people. So it was
it can be that basic.
Such a flood of knowledge.
Oh, but, Ariel, thank you.
Yes, I love Ariel.
But Okay, so there's so many takeaways right now from what Sarah's saying. One of the things that she did, which was also brilliant, if you're able to work at a large corporation that will fund your education, leverage that, even though you're going nights, you're working online, you're going to have a heavy load. It's okay. It's a 2-year period of where you're just grinding every day. It'll be behind you before you know it, and it will add so much to your life. And to get back to the education component, I'm absolutely a huge fan of self-learning and always be learning. But remember Ruben Harris, who was our trainer at MMP, with his company, they have the data that proves that when you do a boot camp, for example, for coding, or you go in and get that MBA or that segmented education, you're going to get more money and you're going to get where you want to go faster. It is leveraging what you want to do. Hats off to the self-learners who have that internal hustle, but from the classmates, from the expert trainers that they bring you in, then you're filled with mentors, you're filled with collaborators, you've got people lifting you up. And as you said, learning from their stories while the conversations are happening and you're pursuing, what the heck is this economics? And what am I doing? What's a CAC? Oh, customer acquisition cost? What? But it's so important to up your game and take care of that. And I want to acknowledge you, Nicole, going into tech for 2020. Good for you.
Do it, Nicole.
Yep, really good. Anything that we can do to improve our odds and our chances, and especially given as women and of course folks of color, you're starting maybe at the beginning. I always like to say most people of privilege are starting on third base, using the baseball analogy. So, the plate, just trying to get a swing with our bat at the ball. Right. To get our home run, you've got to step up and you've got to look at ways you can leverage. And also, for the side hustlers out there, Sarah, you love what you're doing for Adidas, right?
Yes, I love what I'm doing. It has been a whirlwind, to say the least. I came into a new position, and that was, my team is great, and the team environment has been different from me. I'm used to New York, where it's like hustle, 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 grind, 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 and we do get our work done. It's at a more relaxed state of mind. I honestly didn't know anything about work-life balance until I came onto the West Coast. There was, in my mind, back when I was working in New York City, I didn't understand work-life balance. I just worked, and that's all I knew, to eat, breathe, and sleep what I was doing. So now I'm exercising and making sure I'm taking care of myself, walk outside and things like that, just so that my head is on straight for my job and for my business as well, making sure that I'm continuing to be a team player and that I do what I need that needs to be done at the end of the day.
Absolutely. And Cafe, Sarah singing your song, right? Oh my gosh, we're talking about this mental health and entrepreneurship.
Mental health is so important.
Take care.
It's so important. I am thousands of miles away from my family. I have family in Los Angeles as well. And when I moved here, I had to really make sure that I maintained my mental health and that I was mentally stable. Because it does get lonely when you are such on this trajectory of becoming an entrepreneur, becoming a founder, becoming a senior leader or a manager at your job, that you forget about that family dynamic that is so it's needed so much. Talking to my parents, talking to my sisters, my nieces, my nephew, talking with them when I have the time to, and I need to do more of that. It just really lifts me up and brings so much love and happiness into my life. And I think sometimes you need to slow down. And I think a lot of people that's one question that people ask me, like, Saraa, what would you tell your younger self? And I would say, Saraa, slow down. Just slow down. It's going to happen. Do not rush. Take care of yourself. Enjoy your family members that you have. And it's just so important, cherish the people that you have in your life while they're here.
Right.
Because as we know, with COVID and things like that, people are losing their family members and at a crazy rate. So
bad.
you really have to appreciate and cherish each moment. And that's what I try to do. If something goes wrong in my business, if something happens at work, I do not stress about it, because at the end of the day, just having a roof over my head, it's a blessing. So I had to change my mindset. I had
That's right. Well, and there's a couple of reasons that's why that's so important, founders. What Sarah's saying is that your family members, whether they're your family of choice or one that you were born into, these are the people who love you no matter what. They love you for who you'll be. Yeah. And so whether you're successful, your business or your career, or any of that, yay, they'll win, they'll cheer you on, but they're going to be there no matter what. And those are the relationships you absolutely must keep nurturing, even when you're feeling overwhelmed, even if it's just sending them a note that says, hey, I love you, I appreciate you, and you are what's keeping me going, and I feel you even though I'm not able to talk to you. Have those conversations, because founders can easily start getting hate mail from their family members.
Oh, yes.
By, pushing them away. And you don't want that, because they'll be there no matter what happens. And businesses come and businesses go, and careers and opportunities come and go. But the people in your life need that nurturing, and they're very important. So thank you for bringing that down to the level we need to remember as founders, but also the passion that Saraa is sharing, that, helping her mother out and taking this product and really seeing and diving deep into her love for her job. These are the things that will get you through those moments that are really, really tough as a founder, as a side hustler. When you're just looking at a problem, you're like, I'm going to have to put this on the shelf because I cannot deal with this anymore. This is what that passion, that need, that calling, the God dropping it into your lap, whatever, however you look at it, is your North Star for the journey you're going on. And again, there are never any guarantees. It's just a possibility with your business, but you want to have the best chance that you're at. So I want to go into more details now. I want to pick your incredible, beautiful product design brain, because it's one thing to say, yeah, I had a passion project at school and the braid releaser and the thing my mom used to use. Then you had to get serious and you had to think about, okay, how do we produce this and market it? Who are we marketing it for? Yeah. How do we want to reach them? What kind of messaging do we want to have? And how do we want, and I'm sure you do, you see this happening all the time at Adidas, where they have a bigger budget to do beta tests and focus groups, but who am I taking this to, and what do they need to hear from me? And so let's start with the design element of it all. So I'm going to just bring it back up for a second here so we can all take a look at this beautiful.
Yeah, and I have it with me as well.
Oh, good. Can you hold it up? That's awesome.
I can.
Thank you, Saraa. So, I mean, you had to just, oh my gosh, she's got the packaging. So
yes,
you had to.
Well, this is the old packaging, so I'm not going to show this.
Oh, okay. Yes. But you had to decide on color. You had to decide on how it felt.
Yeah.
Talk about that.
Yeah. So this is the actual design that my mom created back in 1992, but this is the updated version because the one from 1992, it's old and discolored. So we had to upgrade it. But yes, my mom, I guess, thought was to create something that was very lightweight, double-sided. So you have a wider end and you have a finer end. And that's because a lot of women, when you wear braids, you have the option to wear micro braids, jumbo braids, medium-sized braids. So the braid releaser accommodates both. So you can use this end for larger braids and you can use this end with micro braids. And what's great about this is that my mom designed a ergonomic handle so that there's less strain on the wrist and hand. So your fingers can be positioned very nicely in between the tool, centered into the tool, which is a huge selling point for us, because a lot of women and men who also wear braids that use rat tail tooth combs, there's no grip, and you're pretty much holding on to the teeth of the comb. So and especially when your hands are oily from your hand, it tends to slip. So you tend to grip on harder than usual. With this, even if your hands are wet, if your hands are oily from your hair, it does not slip. So with that, and there's so many points to that, but on top of that, it's a multifunctional tool here, but the exterior of it is very smooth. And the reason why we did that is because we want to make sure that it does not snag in the hair. We want to also make sure that it seamlessly detangles the hair without breaking the hair. We want to prevent and reduce the amount of hair loss in the process. Our consumers know when you're taking out braids, you lose a lot of hair, especially when you are combing your hair with very fine teeth. But the braid releaser takes care of that. So we take really pride in the design of the tool, the exterior feel of the tool, the weight of the tool, so that we really accommodate these pain points of using other tools to do what the braid releaser can do, and especially in a much shorter time.
I love that. So, of course, someone with that short hair most of my life. But how long does it usually take to release a braid? So, if with a rat tooth comb, for example, and then how long does it take to release braids with the braid releaser?
Yeah, so Ande, that's a great question. So I would say if I was taking out my hair with a rat tail tooth comb, I would say I'm spending about 2 to 3, even probably longer, because my braids are smaller than usual. So I would say about 3 to 4, even 5 hours, depending on if I'm cutting my braids and then taking it out. But what's great about the braid releaser, you will spend no more than an hour to an hour and a half taking out your braids. And I actually tested this. A friend of mine, Ashley, took out her daughter's hair. Ari, so cute. Ari, so we love her. So she took out her braids, and Ari and I at the same time had the same size braids. And she literally took out her braids within an hour's time.
Oh my gosh. So first of all, there's some good conversation you can have. You can watch some show or get caught up on a podcast. I'm always the multitasker here. I'm sorry. But the fact that the tears, the breaking, because, the breaking, then now you've got different hair lengths and you're going to have, that's going to ruin the whole look. I love that. But now your mom must have had a certain tool very shaped just like this. We don't need to go into what it looked like then. How did you transition it to today? Did you, what did you use? Did you go with 3D printing? Did you go with a local manufacturer? How did that work?
So what's interesting is that the tool from what back then, like I said, it was split into 2 pieces, and I had an amazing friend of mine do the modeling for it. And he modeled it in 3D. So we created the tool using 3D machinery, and then we transitioned into injection molding. If anyone who is a part of that industry knows that 3D printing is a very innovative way of creating products. However, it's a very expensive way of creating products, and it's not to the point where it can be sustainable for the business. So we are definitely keeping the same aesthetic. We're keeping the same design. However, from feedback, we are making the tool a little longer to accommodate women who have braids in their hair, but also who have naturally long hair. So we will be lengthening the tool for the new product.
Great. And you brought up a really good point, folks. Just like in tech, you need to come up with your MVP that people can look at and get an idea whether it's an app or whatever it is. It's the same thing with a product. And boy, does 3D printing help and saves money. And you can tweak all sorts of problems before you make the real investment into injection molding. That's a commitment, right? It costs a lot more money, makes life a lot easier once you're starting to repeat and get volume up. But that's a great story. But then you also had to figure out packaging. And viewers, I'm going deep into this because I know there are folks out there that are thinking about a product, and you need to be learning how to think about your product. And this is why we're picking Sarah's brain today.
I would definitely say a lot of founders, especially when they have a product, they have to be very intentional on how they're serving their product. And if you want to create an experience for your consumer, I am all about creating an experience for the consumer. I want them to open the box and feel like we took special care specifically for them, each and every person. So when we thought about the packaging, I could have easily said, oh, let's put in a nice little baggie and then tie it up and go. But thanks to Tyler Smith at Proforma, we love Tyler. We brainstormed on how to create packaging for the tool. And I said, okay, we're definitely going to do a box, but we also want to create an insert so that when it's being shipped, it is nicely nuzzled in the box so that it's not moving around. This is impact resistant, but we wanted to really make sure that when the consumer opens the box, it looks very premium, it looks high quality. And that was something that we really wanted to pay attention to, because this is a premium product. We are not selling this cheaply. This is not a cheap product, and this is not cheap quality. And with that, when you're creating a premium product, you want to make sure that all the way down to the box that is in is right. Premium. And we really take pride in that.
Even when it shows up in the package, I mean, there are companies out there, folks, that design the box that the shipment comes in. Yes. That's how clear everybody is about how they want you to have a great experience in opening it and touching it and feeling. And this extra level of branding is really key, because if you, like in your case, you're choosing to manufacture in the US, correct?
Yes, correct.
So how is, folks, you can certainly get things made very cheaply and inexpensively offshore.
Yes.
But if you want to come and you really want to bring good paying jobs to Americans, then, you do get things manufactured here, but you're going to pay more, and your cost of goods sold will be higher, and you have to be profitable and sustainable. So you got to build those margins in.
Yeah.
And so you can enhance this with your branding. And that's what Sarah's doing such a great job on, taking care of all these meticulous pieces, because people buy from you for many reasons, the brand and all, but when they know that you're putting that level of care behind it and who you be behind your brand, it's going to make them much easier and happier to put that money down and purchase your product. So have you figured out pricing? Because I got to tell you, that's always the big question in my conversations with founders. What should we charge for this?
Yeah, so we have been thinking about the pricing. And right now, the Braid release is $25, and that's including shipping. We really don't, a lot of time, and it's very psychological. We really focus on that, because a lot of customers, they will have $100, $200 worth of product in their cart. But if they have to pay $7 or $13 for shipping, they're likely not to go through with the order. Wow. And we want to make sure that when our consumers go on our e-commerce site and our website, all they have to do is click and not have to worry about paying for shipping. So we really wanted to think about that as making it very easy to purchase and not have to say, oh, am I going to get standard shipping? Am I going to get expedited shipping? No, we want to make it straight and forward. You purchase your product, you get your merchandise, and we ship it to you. And all the way down to our merchandise, we make sure that we're not shipping product in brown boxes. And no offense to any founders who do that, because I was very close to doing that myself. But our mailer boxes are specifically designed for and branded for our consumers. When they get that purple box with the Braid Releaser logo on top, and they open that box and they can get a hoodie, a t-shirt, and their Braid Releasers, and we will be expanding our product line. But we want to make sure that when you get your product, that you feel like, wow, they thought about me. They really took that time. So yes, we are keeping it at that price. And obviously, as time go on, when we think about wholesalers and things like that, of course, the price will change, because we're not talking about shipping. We're not talking about packaging and things like that.
And everybody knows, volume gives you a lot of more flexibility and freedom as a founder. But I love that complete experience from start to finish. That is great. And also taking into consideration, just buy it. $25, that includes shipping. Boy, come on, everybody. Give me a high five on that. If you're watching now or later, how wonderful is that concept? Why do you have to make one more decision? Do you want it right away? Do you want it? No, just get it to me.
Yes, just get it.
And $25, it's really, that's not expensive when you're cutting 2, 3, 4 hours out of your experience. You're saving money there. So Nicole has a beautiful skincare line. And Nicole, put your website into the next comment and we'll pull it up on the screen, okay? So we can do a shout out to you and your beautiful products. But that's a great question Nicole has for Saraa. Do you think building your shipping cost into the price of the item is worth it? I think, well, I guess you answered that.
Yep, I did. Yep.
There we go.
Yep, it's right in there. No
helps if Ande reads the question before she pulls it up, right?
Thank you, Nicole.
All that multitasking at the same time. But yeah, so Nicole, put it in so we can give a shout out to your beauty care business, because you have some beautiful products. Here we go.
Yes.
Pull that up. Sanctuary Home Body. I mean, body butter like you would not believe, everyone. Okay, just saying. But so thank you for that, Nicole. But that's the beauty of working with your brand and making it work for you to make the purchase as easy as possible, so that you're then able to work on what comes next, which is scaling. Yeah. So now you've got your prototype. Now you are, let's just bring it back out again so everybody can see.
Yes, check it out.
Order now. Here's the bit.ly link. I'll put the bit.ly link into the show notes as well as into the stream here, folks. You can get it.
Pre-order.
But pre-order, but also, where you've been funding it, what with savings, credit cards, whatever, and now you're going to go into finding ways to scale. How are you doing with your business model, and where do you see the next 6 to 12 months?
Yeah, so in the very beginning, my mother and I was funding the business from our own pockets. And that wasn't very sustainable. It wasn't, I put my whole savings into this business, and not regretting that at all. A lot of founders do it.
Absolutely. It's an investment.
It's an investment, and you have to do the work, and you have to take that risk at the end of the day. But what I will say is that, Ande, and I'm probably going on a tangent about what
we love tangents. Go.
I was going on a tangent. Sorry about that. But we have thought about scaling. We are using crowdfunding campaigning to raise capital for our business, which has been successful. However, to take you on a little journey, we originally started with Kickstarter. And our Kickstarter campaign happened when the pandemic hit. And unfortunately, we lost over $8,000 because with Kickstarter, it's an all or nothing campaign. So if you do not reach your goal, then you lose any bit of money that you have raised. So we had to think about a platform that was more geared towards Black founders. And so my business advisor, Ariel, again, shout out, partnered and introduced me to Renee King, who's the CEO and founder of Fun Black Founders. And what's great about Renee is that she has a coaching system. So she coaches you for about 3 to 4 weeks before you launch your campaign. So this is laying out your consumer base, your friends, your family. Who are you going to text? Who are you going to call? What is your story on how you're campaigning? What is your angle? And I find that very important, especially for Black founders, because we do not get investors the way any other founder gets. So when you have, it's so important. So when you have a platform that focuses and knows about your industry and your background, that is a huge help. And I believe that it makes your campaign much more successful. And thankfully, we have been doing such a great job in partnering with Fun Black Founders. So along with that, and we have received grants as well. So we are, I really feel like a money magnet. I really do feel like a money magnet, because when I set my intentions out there that we are going to get funded and that money will come to us, it has happened. And it continues to happen. So, my family, we are so grateful because, at the end of the day, if my family and I, we don't have millions of dollars just laying around to fund the business. So when we have people who are investing in us financially, it definitely helps us tremendously, because we're thinking about, after our e-commerce site, how can we reach out to retailers, but even before that, thinking about how we're going to expand our product line. And we have been thinking about that, and we have 3 new products that we will be launching next year. And I'm going to hold on to that surprise until we get there. But we have so much in store for the Braid Releaser. And this is just the beginning of what we're going to do. The Braid Releaser is a small part of what we want to do and how we want to have impact in the hair care community and also within our own communities as well. The Braid Releaser is not just a tool, but it's also educating people about using tools that's better for their hair. We have been using tools that has been bad for our hair for so long, and we just got so used to using it that bringing in something new was not first thought.
Yeah, but you brought in something that's elegant and beautiful and has a gorgeous design, because your hair deserves that.
Your hair deserves it.
Absolutely. And you do, you don't need to have your hands getting all crimpy and all of that while you're trying to take it out, and also all that time. And so sometimes you're going to leave the braids in too long, that you don't want doing that as well. So there's just so many great things about it. But I want to go back to the crowdfunding. Folks, with products, crowdfunding is a great way to go. A couple of things are happening. You're going to have a great beta source for launching, and you're going to raise money. You're going to have something to give them, and it's going to help fund your launch.
Yes, it is.
Just hands down one of the best ways to do it. Unfortunately, the COVID-19 plus the combination is so disappointing. Yes. But I have seen story after story of a crowdfunding campaign that got started, had a huge failure, pulled back and said, okay, how are we going to do this differently? And not only did you find the right platform for you, which is so important. And again, let me just bring that platform up so you can see the link, everybody. The Fun Black Founders campaign. This is a crowdfunding site specifically for Black founders. They understand the community. They understand the language. This is branding. But I have coached many a person of color who is challenged significantly by the ceiling, by the being invisible to capital. And so you can't let that stop you. Everybody's working real hard to change that. Arlen Hamilton, everybody, our gal Mandela, S.H. Dixon, onward. working really hard to change that. But in the meantime, do not let that stop you. Do not let that get in your way. And that's what I love what you did, Saraa. You said, okay, Kickstarter, I'm not doing that again. Where am I going to go? You did your research and you found it and you nailed it. The other beauty is that of being a product company, yes, I had one too. So I really have an appreciation of how different it is than bringing a service. Okay.
Yes.
This is why Saraa can be at her full-time job that she loves so much. There's a lot you can outsource. Yes, you have to make really important decisions along the way about how things are done, et cetera, but you don't have to be delivering those like you do with the service and other things. So, and she's got the great partner and her mom to help her. And I got to tell you, what a great role model you are for many founders out there who are really loving what they're doing. I mean, I was talking to someone who was at the master class and she said, well, I want to launch a business, but I also really love what I'm doing.
Yeah.
And now she has you to go to and see how you can do both. I love that. So
you can do it all.
And what is the time period on your crowdfunding campaign?
Yes, so our crowdfunding, we're actually extended our crowdfunding campaign. However, we will be launching our e-commerce site and website October 1st. So we are so happy about that. However, we are first going to take care of everyone who pre-ordered through the campaign, and our orders will be shipping out the end of September. So we're so excited about that. Those are the people that we are taking care of first because they got on that campaign, and they are actually, some of them are people who backed our campaign with Kickstarter. So we're going to take care of them first, and then October 1st, we will be launching our website, e-commerce site, October 1st.
All right. Everybody, you see right there, Saraa Green at The Braid Releaser, Instagram and Twitter. And I'm going to have all the links, put them into the show notes so you can also connect with Saraa on LinkedIn, follow everything going on Facebook, support this incredible campaign. Again, there is the link, hop on, go ahead and get yourself some braid releasers, and not just one, you buy them for other people you know too. Okay, that's important.
Multiple levels. We have a family pack. We have a girlfriend pack for your friends. We have a salon owner pack. And we even have opportunities for people who want to be executive founders, $1,000, $500, $1,000 and up. We promote your business on our website for a full year. So anyone who wants to be a part of that, we would love to have you a part of the family.
Hey, April.
Hey, April.
Oh, isn't that great? Thank you so much. And then here, one more. Looking forward to the site launch. We all are. We all need to just, again, support each other so much. Founders, lifting each other up, write the check, invest, help this incredible company. And Saraa and Angela get this beautiful product. We are going to be seeing this product everywhere. And when you're ready to get into the big box stores, you come find me. We'll get that WeBank application going so you can get into supplier diversity programs. Oh my gosh, they make the margins much sweeter. And easier. So that's a great thing. So as a side hustling founder, you're still faced with the things that will keep you up at night, that will make you feel like, why did I do this? I'll never be a good founder. That self-talk that we all have. And we talk about this with our mental health challenges as entrepreneurs because we are so outside our comfort zone and we live with so much uncertainty as founders. What advice can you give folks tuning in to navigate this murky water and step into the founder role with love and appreciation for the journey?
Yeah, so I would say two things. The first thing I would say is, when the Kickstarter failed, and I'm going to say that when it failed, it was very difficult for me to go back to my mom and tell her that we lost that money. And every founder has that vulnerable state, have that experience where they have to tell their business partners or tell their shareholders that something didn't go right. And I really felt discouraged because I didn't want my parents to be disappointed in me, or which they have never felt. But you have that in that that inferior feeling that, man, my mom put her idea in my hands, and I told her we was getting things done, and then for that to happen, I didn't know how to deal with that and cope with that. And what I actually had to do, I had to pray about it. And I said, okay, Lord, what is the next step? What is the next thing that is going to happen? And whatever you believe in, lean on that for understanding, and try to get a clarity on what your mission is and what path you should take. And that is very important because, sometimes you cannot allow negative thoughts to enter your mind. You have to really shut them down. And, my therapist would always say to me, Saraa, challenge your thoughts. Are these thoughts true? Do you see when your mind says you're a failure, do you believe for that to be true? And when you can strongly say no, you have to move on and believe that every negative thought is a lie, and you have to rebuke that lie, honestly. But I will say is that Black people especially are facing tough times, and we have always faced tough times. And the reality is that, a lot of my heartache has nothing to do with my business, and a lot of it has nothing to do with that keeps me up at night. When I see men and women who look like my sister, who look like my father, who are being killed, who are being shot, that's what keeps me up at night. At the end of the day, it is difficult to try to promote your business and to sell product when you see people who look just like you, who are facing these horrible acts of racism. And that, honestly, Ande, keeps me up at night.
Yeah.
That's what's tough. And
Understandably.
founders are struggling. We talk about this in our Slack community with Founder Gym, that we are facing these tough times, and it's hard. And I will say that we are strong, we are resilient, and sometimes we have to take a pause. We have to take
Right. And I'm just going to speak to the crowd here too. It's up to us, this color skin, it's up to us to stand up, speak out, and start dissolving the systemic racism that's going on. Our people of color, our friends with brown and Black skin, do not need this in their life. They're working so hard. This should be ending. I don't care where you are. You need to step up and say something. Do not worry about being impolite. Do not worry about what it looks like to you. This is not about you. This is about white fragility and white privilege, and it is harmful in the world. People are suffering, and we need to stop it. And we have to. Those of us shiny, bright skinned folks have to take a stand on that. So I feel very strongly about that. I'm so happy you brought that up, because imagine full-time, doctorate degree, launching a business, and trying to emotionally cope with another level of uncertainty, which is, will I survive the day? Or who else will not survive the day? So that's such an important dialogue that has to happen. And we have to come together and work together, those of us in the white community, to put an end to this. Just saying. Thank you for bringing that up, Saraa.
Yes, we have to just stop this injustice. We have to stop.
Yep.
I mean, it's 400 years of it, and it's still happening.
Yep.
2020, and so now you have Black founders who have to raise millions of dollars, who have to worry about being in the room with investors who do not look like them, who do not understand them. I have been in meetings with investors, and they tell me, I don't like the name and I don't get it. And you could easily cry about it. You could easily be angry and frustrated, But the thing about us is that we keep moving forward, no matter
Absolutely.
what boundaries or barriers that have been placed before us. So, I'm really thankful for being in this position and to have a voice, as many other founders do. And as I mentioned, when we talk in our Slack community, we really say, how are you doing? How are you feeling today? What is going through your mind? And we really and that just goes back to that mental stability and being able to make sure that your mental health is healthy. We
Absolutely.
that is so important.
And
But
everybody else, reach out. Wherever you are working, reach
yeah,
out. Look at the folks in the room and just take a moment and say, how you doing?
yeah,
How
that's it.
can I help?
How it at the end of the day, we are raising money. We're
Mhm.
raising money, funding for capital and things like that. But sometimes you have to just say, how are you doing today? Are you okay? How are things going? And
And
you know,
Sarah, were you there the other last Wednesday night when Jacob, last name begins with M, was in the master class with Mandela?
oh yes, I missed that, but I heard great things about
Oh
it.
my gosh, Gem City. But he's like, please, I'm tired of being alone in the room. Please come in, do more. What can I do to help you get into the room?
Yeah,
This is what we need to doing. And it's, again, crowdfunding. Okay. I mean, Asia Atwood, who, a woman of color and a proud and fierce member of the LGBTQ community, same thing. And she has a product that is changing the way we do indoor farming, not just for cannabis, but for regular. It's an amazing, amazing technology. Big, deep background engineer, just amazing track record. Had said enough. I'm not going into a room again with investors who are going to give me a hard time. I'm going to crowdfunding. We
yeah.
will change that.
Yes, and
I promise.
we're taking matters into our own hands.
Yes, you are.
We have people like Renee King, we have people like Ariel, we have people like Arlen Hamilton, we have people who are, Mandela, who's making a change, that is creating a platform for Black founders to know the information and to gain that knowledge and to help us launch our businesses to new heights. And we need more programs like this. It can't just be the same people doing the same thing. Arlen cannot invest in 200 million companies every year. Like it's impossible. She can't do it on her own. So, it's very and I also extend that out to other people of color, listening to Alfred Lin, listening to the CEO and founder of Republic. It at the end of the day, people of color needs to come together. No matter Black, Asian, Hispanic, it doesn't matter. We need to come together because we are not being funded at the same level. And what I will also say is that we're not using this as an excuse. We're not, and this is the interesting thing about this subject, and I can talk hours about
I love
this,
it. I'm good.
but what I'm going to say is that people of color are not asking for a handout. And I'm going to say that again. People of color are not asking for a handout. We are working just as hard at the end of the day, if not harder, to make sure that we get our businesses out there. Okay. When we look at Black women are the fastest growing entrepreneurs in the US and the most educated in the US. And people say, well, okay, but the reality is, where do you think that stems from? Why do you think we feel like we need to have all these degrees? Why do you think that we have to have all these different job experiences? And I'm going to get off my soapbox, but people need to realize that we're not asking for a handout. We just want to sit at the table, and we also want to be treated equally. We want to be treated the same in the corporate world, in entrepreneurialism. We want to be able to get the funding, to get the recognition that we deserve at the end of the day. And it's so important that our voices are heard. And what I've learned is that we can't rely on others to make that happen for us. That's why we have leaders who are taking it in their own hands to create platforms, to create programs specifically for underrepresented people and founders, and entrepreneurs and CEOs. And let's talk about it. African Americans are 13% of the population, 90% buying power. With our dollar, I mean, where would this economy be, right?
Yeah.
So just to say it plainly.
And we saw it with the Milwaukee Bucks just the other day, using their, as AOC said, this is a strike. This is a buying power. This is not a boycott.
That's right. It's not a boycott. We are protesting peacefully.
Yes.
We are protesting peacefully. And I know we're talking about startup life, but this is a part of the startup life. This is what we go through on a day-to-day basis.
So real.
This is real. This is real. Sending pitch decks to investors and hoping that they will understand our product and understand the reasoning behind our businesses. And this is a day-to-day. And what I will say is that our founders, and no matter, honestly, this is for every founder, do the work. Do not stop because someone says no. I received so many no's, and I'm going to receive many more. Do not stop. White, Black, Spanish, Asian, Indian, don't matter. If you are a founder and someone tell you no, do not stop. Keep going, keep progressing. It's all about progression, not perfection. And Pastor Mike from Transformational Church, always Transformation Church, always says that it's not about perfection. It is progressing. Okay.
Love that.
Not everyone's gonna love you. Not everyone's gonna like your business idea. So what? Keep going.
We have heard some poetry here today, folks. Saraa, that was so empowering. And I love your voice and how you, excuse me, I guess I'm all choked up, is that you're speaking with such profound authority and hope, so that it's like, look, the circumstances suck, but don't let that stop you, because you are a valuable human being. You have a valuable business. Do the hard work to figure out how it's going to be profitable and sustainable, and make it happen. If it is that passion, and if it, the consumer is ready to pay for that product, there's no reason why you can't make it work. You just have to keep looking for the opportunity and not the obstacles. Yes, as Saraa said, there are so many obstacles for our brown and black skinned friends, but it doesn't have to be that way. And you're right, platforms are emerging every single day. And I will encourage anybody who's feeling discouraged to read Arlen Hamilton's book, because she had no business doing what she's doing now. She doesn't look it, she doesn't feel it, and she just woke up one day as a tour manager for music groups, and said, I want to create a venture capital fund. She has a high school education, everybody. That's it. But she was one person who knew how to self-teach, right? And she taught herself what she needed to know. Now, this was 2012 she woke up with that idea. By 2018, she'd already raised her fund and invested in businesses. So
Arlen is amazing. I love Arlen. She has invested into our business as well. And she's amazing. She has been so warming, giving me feedback, responding to emails, responding to emails, that's great. When you get an investor to respond to your email, you are
it's a good day.
But yeah, like you said, this is a great book. I'm also almost finished with Arlen's book. This is also another one of our trainers
Karen.
from Money Magnet. Change your mindset, change your life. And I really recommend people buy those books because we're not getting paid to say this.
And follow both of these folks, Karen Jones and Arlen Hamilton, on Instagram. And Garen is just like his Instagram stories. If you ever need a shot in the arm, you will get one from his IG stories. But Arlen, you will hear more stories of her confrontations and the shenanigans that she's had to put up with. People to this day with her track record, discounting her, dismissing her. It's unacceptable.
It's unacceptable.
They're not go on forever here, everybody.
Yeah, but these are things that has become so normal and natural to us, and that's why we trudge away. We keep going. We don't stop, and that's for any founder. Founders don't stop because we do the work. And that's an advice that I would give new founders. If you're not willing to do the work, do not start the business. Do not, and I'm saying it plainly, do not start the business if you're not willing to do the work. If you're not willing to stay up past 12 o'clock, then don't do it. If you're not willing to call people, text them to say, hey, would you back my campaign? Hey, this is what I'm doing. If you're not willing to do it, nothing's going to be given to you in this process. Nothing. So,
also, Sarah, if you need instant gratification, oh, heck no, you don't want to do entrepreneurship.
No one's going to be patting you on your back all day. At the end of the day, that just goes to your family. I know my parents and my family's proud of me, but I'm not asking for my family to say, good job, Sarah, great. I'm not asking for that. And that's what you're not going to get at the end of the day. So just keep going and pat yourself on the back. And that's pretty much it. You make, and my job always talks about this, celebrate the small wins. You don't have to be in Target next year. How about building a relationship with the buyer? That's a win. You have to really be able to celebrate these small wins, because if you do not, you will not be satisfied and you will not be happy going through this journey. You have to celebrate everything and even celebrate the failures. But when I talk about failures, and I said this in the blog post with Create and Cultivate, if you're going to fail fast and learn from it. Do not continue to fail throughout the process. If you're going to fail, do it quickly and learn from it and move on.
And celebrate it, because it taught you what you don't want and what doesn't work.
That's right.
Don't be afraid of it. Perfection and success never taught anybody anything. Period. End of story.
That's right.
And shout out to Nicole. Oh,
That's
yeah.
Right. 3 a.m. Not every day. Nicole, you need to get some rest, Nicole. Not every day now.
But you're raising kids. Some folks are raising children, and have other, maybe an illness in the household. But again, there's that mythology that it has to happen overnight. Oh, no. Dreams unfold. Sometimes they take decades. I mean, I've been around waiting 30 years for this moment in time. It's that can happen as well. You are creating those lived experiences that are making you more valuable and better educated, and a person who can make better decisions for your business as well. Because there's no training for founderhood, right, Sarah? There's zero training. It's other than getting in and doing it. You can take all the courses you want about how to be a founder.
I mean, well, if you don't apply what you learned, then there's no point.
Right.
But you through this whole founder journey, I've learned so much about myself when it comes to how I make decisions and how I include people in those decision-making processes. Yep. And I learned something different about myself every day. And sometimes I'm shocked. I'm like, did I just do that? Did I just say that? But it's definitely a journey that I recommend for people who are called to be founders.
Absolutely.
If you are not called to be a founder or entrepreneur,
it's okay if you're not. All right.
It's okay. Please.
Okay.
A-okay.
There's
Listen,
nothing wrong with being on payroll.
listen.
Yes.
Let me tell you something. I'm not against it, but what I will say when we talk about payroll, I would say is do not waste your life on jobs that do not that you really don't love. Do not. You're angry, you're stressed, you're upset. Find something that is going to fill you. Find something that's going to make you happy. And the reality is sometimes that's not the case. You just got to make that money, take care of your family and hustle and grind. And I find that's an entrepreneur in and of itself. When you are grinding and you're putting food on putting food on that table for your children, your family, that's an entrepreneur. I mean, my mom did it.
Yes.
She put 3 kids through college on her own at the end of the day. And she, my mom worked multiple jobs. I don't remember a time that my mom didn't have one job. And I see that as my mom being an entrepreneur and a hustler at the end of the day, because that is a hustle. When you going from the first job, and then when the first job ends and the second job, it's hard. It's tough. I've had multiple jobs myself, even, having a full-time job and being a full-time college student. That is, that is tough.
There's a lot of honorable work in the world.
It's exactly. I don't care if you work retail. I don't care if you work for the DAC on waste management. You are a entrepreneur in your own right. You are a hustler in your own right, because you're not only considering yourself, but you're considering your family. And that's what a founder is about. Honestly, it's like when you make decisions about your business, you think about how it's going to affect your employees. You think about how it's going to affect your family that you're taking care of. That's your children, at the end of the day. So it's a all around, it's an all around process. I don't have children yet. I do not have a family yet. And I'm taking this opportunity to make sure that I have my ducks in a row. And then when I have my family and, I can kind of settle down and relax. But at this point, it's
that's a mythology.
I praise any woman and man who have a family, who are founders, who are going through school. I have in my doctorate program, I have classmates who have full-blown families, newborns, and they are working towards their doctorate. And I am just like, oh my gosh, those are heroes to me.
That's right.
But yeah, this
absolutely. And I've got to tell you a truth about yourself, Saraa. When I'll sit back and relax. Well, first of all, just like a founder, as a parent, there's no relaxing. Those days are gone. As I always said to my kids, you have no respect for my age, the death-defying acts, but you are also a driven woman. So there will always be something that you're going to want to explore. And many founders, this, business A isn't working out. You've got B through F lined up right over here. It's okay. Everything is teaching you what you need to learn along the way. And yes, sometimes we have moments that we're driven more than usual. And that's because of that calling where we have to really step up. I'm thinking of this incredible conversation we've had today, Saraa, and I'm thinking how I'm going to have the whole video, but then I'm going to have Saraa speak.
I went on this tangent. So sorry, but thank you. I mean, a great conversation.
The voices have to be heard right now, Saraa. And we, folks, we have to sit back and listen, and we have to showcase what you're saying and make sure that you are being heard, because your voice is really important. And I know that you had an amazing ripple effect today and forever. I mean, this is an evergreen video for so many people. As our good friend Mandela says, it's not a meritocracy out there, folks. It's a mirrorocracy.
That's right.
And our Saraa today has been a beautiful mirror for all of you pursuing dreams and found the founderhood, the founder journey, and understanding what it's like as a woman of color and the challenges, but also the gifts that are coming along the way.
Yeah.
and you are a gift. So thank you for
Thank you
gracing
so much.
all of us with your presence. I'm just going to do a quick little, business owner. I got to do my own call to action, and then I'll come back for a final. I'm very transparent with everybody
Yes, I love
on
it.
this, but I just want to say to everybody, I don't know about you, but I was absolutely moved by the candidness and the honesty from which Saraa spoke today, and that we really, really need to hear and be present and show up in so many ways for founders in general, but also for our brown and black skinned founders who are working so hard. They don't want a handout, as Saraa said. They want the same opportunity as others have. So that's beautiful. Thank you for tuning in and upping your founder game today. Oh my gosh. And for celebrating this remarkable female founder. If you have a founder you'd like to see me interview live right here at the Startup Life live show, shoot me an email, send me a text, or comment in the comment thread someone that you'd like to recommend. I'd love to meet them. And if you have any questions for Saraa or for me, pop them into the comment section, or, we have our emails up there. I'm Ande at Ande Lyons, and Saraa had her, Saraa.Green at THEBRAIDRELEASER.com, but we'll have that in the show notes. So you can ask her questions. And again, for those of you who are watching the recording, please click the subscribe button and click the little bell icon so that you're always alerted when I have another incredible speaker like Saraa today sharing her deliciousness. Are you ready to stop struggling as a founder? You heard Saraa talk about her incredible mentor. To take your business to the next level, struggling alone does not serve you or your business, and it really wastes of valuable time and money. I offer startup strategy sessions. These are these 2-hour sessions where we jam and you're done and you have a roadmap for 30, 60, 90 days. Same thing with funding strategy sessions. I also do amazing pitch deck reviews. I mean, come on, have you pitched before? You got to have someone review your pitch deck. I have raised millions in venture capital, thousands in angels, and I co-host a monthly pitch event for several years now here in Boston. So I know what investors are looking for. So hop on in to the comment threads and book a session with me, discovery call, 15-minute chat. Okay, it's going to be 30 because I go on forever. So, because I get so curious about what you're up to, but I do sincerely want to learn more about you and your business. And I'm taking next week off. I just did a 6-week blitz of 3 live shows a week, plus a couple of others, because of the pitch event. And so I'm going to just sit back and think about my business and think about other ways to serve you. But I will be back September 9th for Wise Up Wednesday, and you're going to love my guest. He's going to be hailing all the way from India, folks. And he is an international speaker, a founder, and he's just going to juice up our lives and get us ready to really nail it in the last quarter of 2020. No matter what's going on in the world, we can still do this. To stay up on where you can find and be alerted on all these goodies, join my newsletter, and absolutely hop on over and join my meetup group. That way you'll always be alerted when I'm having another live episode. Okay, so look, I'm going to bring Saraa back into the room and say, any last final thoughts? Oh, goddess, you were just so sensational today.
I would just say, everyone take care of your hearts, take care of your minds at this moment. And for anyone, again, have any questions about our experience with Founder Jim, our experience with the Money Magnet, please don't hesitate. And for Black founders who also want to do crowdfunding campaign, please reach out to me and ask me about my experience with Fund Black Founders. So we, at the end of the day, we are here and we're a community to help anyone. So please don't hesitate to reach out to us. And we want to see everyone win. We do not want to see any of our founders or entrepreneurs lose. This is not a time to see other people lose. We are here to bring love and to really bring in work. You got to hustle. If you're not a part of that hustle, don't come into this room. But again, like, most importantly, like I said, please take care of your hearts. Please take care of your families as well. And we're just so I'm just so ecstatic to be here with you, Ande. And again, thank you for this opportunity to allow me to talk about these topics that are most of the time uncomfortable to talk about. So very grateful for that.
Oh, it just flowed beautifully from your heart, and so eloquent and meaningful. And I know it served so many folks to hear you speak from your heart with such honesty. Yeah, nothing's getting sugar-coated anymore, folks. We're here to win. We're here for you to win, all walks of life to win.
That's right.
And we are lifting. And I just love that you shared so many platforms that are helping our brown and black skin folks to have a better outcome. You deserve it. You bring the same qualifications to the plate. There's just a whole bunch of people that are on third plate, as I said. And, we need to get you that home run. These platforms are doing it. It's so great. Everybody, thank you so much for tuning in. I have to tell you, I believe in you, founders. I really, really do. This experience is rewarding you on many, many levels. I invite you to stay strong, stay focused, take care of your mental health. And remember, you've got this. You really do. Even in those dark moments, Saraa and I are here for you. Ping us. We'll cheer you on.
That's
Bye,
right.
everyone. Have a great rest of your day. Cheers.